Hey everyone, my name's Andrea and I'm the travel scientist here today to help you first-time cruisers learn must-knows for your first cruise. I've got information that can help make your first cruise a success. So hang tight, getting ready to count down. Be sure to download the cruise ship app before you board the ship. Now, on lots of different cruise lines, even if you don't purchase the Wi-Fi package, if you do have the cruise app, you are able to chat with other people in your party via the app, even without the Wi-Fi package. Also, what's happening each day will be on the app. Lots of good information on the app. So be sure, before you get on the ship, download the app. Now, let's talk about a big one that I didn't know about when I started cruising, and that is travel insurance. Why would I even want travel insurance, right? One, you need to check. There's a good possibility that your health insurance may not cover you if you're outside of the U.S. Now, check with your health insurance provider, but in the event that you've got illness or injury, or you have to have, let's say, emergency evac off of the ship, you want to be sure that you have coverage. Travel insurance can provide that peace of mind. So check with your insurance company here at home first, but in the event that they don't cover, that's what travel insurance can be for. It also covers other things such as trip interruption, trip delay, trip cancellation, bags. There's all kinds of different policies out there that you need to check out and make sure that you've got your trip covered. Now, I'm going to provide a broker and they compare multiple different travel insurances, and it's called squaremouth.com. Talk about the money. The day of your cruise, you roll up, you hop out, you have these on all of your bags, right? You have these on all your bags. By the way, I'll drop a link below. Remember, if you purchase, I may earn a small commission. I've got some really neat things that you really should have before cruising. These are attached to all your bags. Now, here's the thing. Keep this with you. I can't say this enough. Keep this with you. I actually have a friend who showed up, didn't realize it, had this into a bag that he sent onto the cruise ship with the porters, and he was denied boarding. They did find his passport before it had pulled off. However, it was too late because customs or whoever had already shut down and would not let him on the ship. So keep important stuff such as medication, passports with you. Everything else, make sure it's tagged so that it makes it to your cabin, and be nice to your cruise porters. $1 to $2 for every bag that they take is much appreciated. Talk about some potentially unaware charges that you may encounter. Just want you to be prepared for them. One is gratuities. Now, unless you prepaid gratuities before your cruise begins, there will be gratuity added daily to your account. Now, that's usually somewhere between $16 and $20 per person per day that's added to your onboard account. So something to be mindful of is gratuities. So just because you paid for your cruise, you are going to experience some onboard charges. Those can be adjusted before you get off the ship if you so desire. In my opinion, cruising can be one of the very most affordable ways to travel. But one thing you must be aware of, you are trying to be upsold on everything. So as soon as you walk on that cruise ship, guys, they're going to be trying to sell you drink packages, specialty dining, massages. Just know that it can turn from, hey, this is the most affordable vacation we've ever taken, to, oh my goodness, I don't know if we'll ever cruise again because it was so expensive. So if you just know to be on the lookout for those things and make your own decisions, what's best for you and your family, then I think you'll be in great shape. One example, me and my husband went on an anniversary cruise, and he likes to drink a diet soda with each meal. So we asked, hey, how much is the soda package? And what they quoted us was like, oh my goodness, even the amount of sodas that he would have to drink to justify that package was just ridiculous. And he's not that big of a soda drinker. The thing about that cruise line was I would also have to purchase the soda package. So we were able to purchase him sodas a la carte. It works fine. We don't always go to specialty restaurants. Sometimes we'll do 1 or 2 per cruise. And even with my entire family, that's much more affordable than doing the entire specialty dining package. Now, if you're somebody that wants that specialty dining package and that's within your budget, yes, go for it. Just be aware, if you're somebody that is watching more where those pennies come and go, then you may want to just do some of those things a la carte and not buy the big packages. There will be heat on you. They are trying to upsell you. Cruise industries don't make millions of dollars per year, but not trying to sell you a product, okay? So I just want you to be aware you are trying to be upsold. Another place for unexpected costs to come from is your cell phone. My suggestion, best practice is once you get on the ship that you turn it into airplane mode. So if you want to communicate, then you need to connect to the ship's Wi-Fi. If you've purchased the Wi-Fi package, airplane mode, connect to Wi-Fi. That will keep you off cellular at sea, which can cost you lots of money. While you're at port, if you want to be on your cell phone, my suggestion would be to purchase an international package. Talk to your carrier. They're typically really reasonable, and you can actually usually purchase them for a small amount of time, 7 days to up to a month, or I'm sure even more. Remember, please, 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 this has gotten first-time cruisers a lot. Turn it on to airplane mode and connect to the ship's Wi-Fi. This will keep you from dinging the cellular at sea network, which you can incur an additional cost. Thing to just be prepared for: when you walk onto your cruise cabin's not going to be ready, okay? They have just had thousands of passengers disembark, so they've got to clean all those rooms, get those turned over for all the new guests coming on the cruise ship. So typically you're looking between 1 and 3 p.m. that you will be able to get into your cabin. No, even when you can get into your cabin, it may take another hour or 2 for your luggage to show up at your cabin. So just know these things ahead of time, I think, can help you plan and be better prepared. Anything that the porters have taken, you're not gonna have access to, nor are you gonna be able to get in your cruise cabin for a little while. So just be prepared for that. One little kind of tidbit secret: everybody is going to be heading to the buffet. You will walk in there and be like, I cannot do this for an entire week. One thing a lot of people don't take advantage of is a lot of times the main dining rooms and the specialty restaurants are actually open. So my suggestion would, if you don't mind, go to the main dining room and grab a bite to eat while you're waiting for your cabin to get ready and your luggage to be delivered, or go have a dip in the pool. Of course, you'll have to have your things with you, but hopefully just knowing this will help you have a more enjoyable first experience. As soon as you have the opportunity, you need to go in and do your online check-in. So what do you need for your online check-in? One is your documentation. So are you going to use a passport, or are you going to use a birth certificate along with photo ID? On there, you'll indicate which you plan to use. And then also with passports, I know that they'll ask like, what's your passport number and information that's found on your passport. They'll also take a picture of you through your computer camera. The next thing that you'll want to do is what time you plan on embarking onto the ship. So that means what time do you plan on showing up to the cruise port? Now, a lot of times people want to do online check-in just as quick as they can so that they get to choose their embarkation time, because after those slots are taken, they get filled up. Usually the earlier in the days get gone and you may be pushed to a later check-in time. So that's one reason why people want to hurry and do online check-in as quickly as possible. Another thing is onboard account. What do you plan on doing with that? So either that can be typically a cash account, or go ahead and upload your credit card that you plan on utilizing for onboard purchases and gratuities. The other thing is on online check-in is what time you plan on eating dinner. Typically there's 3 dinner times. There's an early dining, a late dining, and then some ships have what we call anytime dining. It'll be on your online check-in that you'll have the opportunity to go in and choose that. I will tell you, typically early dining gets chosen quickly, and it's kind of one of those things as well, is if it's not chosen and it gets filled up, then when you do go in to do online check-in, that may not even be an option. Some online check-ins have how you want your bed formatted, whether you want it into twins or if you want it to be slid together into a larger bed. I would suggest as soon as you have the opportunity, go in and get started on that. Another cruise tip: flying the night before. Don't put yourself at risk of missing your cruise, especially when you've put time and energy into planning this wonderful vacation. So be sure that you fly in the night before. Stay as near the port as you possibly can. This alleviates a lot of stress on you.
If you are a U.S. citizen traveling from a U.S. port, listen to this.
Is a passport required to cruise? The answer may be no. If you are leaving from a cruise port, let's say for example Miami, you cruise and you return back to that same cruise port, Miami, that's called a closed loop cruise. Now, that requires anybody over the age of 16 to have a birth certificate and a matching photo ID with the same name. If you happen to be a female that has gotten married and her legal name is not the name that is no longer on the birth certificate, you will have to have whatever form of documentation it is to have a line showing how you went from that name to the new name that is on your ID. So keep that in mind. Now, if you are under 16, you can do it with just a birth certificate. So why do people want to have a passport? Let's say in the event something happens and there's an emergency and you need to fly back home, you will not be able to fly back into the U.S. without a passport. So people like to have a passport just to have that peace of mind in the event something does happen and there's an emergency at home and they need to get back home through the airport, then they have the ability to do so. You can go to travel.state.gov for more information on how to obtain your passport. Unless you have a passport, you're not coming back in with your birth certificate and photo ID. That will not get you on a plane to get you back in the U.S. Also, if your cruise is not a closed-loop cruise, meaning it departs from one port and returns to a different port, then a passport is required. So it is always wise to travel with a passport if you can. Cruiser tip, be sure to stay on ship's time. That's very important when you go to get off at port. You want to make sure that you have something that is keeping up with ship's time. Not local time, not the time that your cell phone says, but the time that the ship has. You do not want to be left at port. The cruise will announce to you when you're going forward an hour or when your time needs to go back, but just make sure that when you get off at port that you ensure that you are on ship's time. Cruiser tip, it's usually much more streamlined at check-in if you have a printed copy of your boarding pass. So, on your cruise ship, you don't pay with things with cash. So you'll have an onboard account. Either you have it linked a credit card to it or you can put cash on that account when you get onto the cruise ship. You will get a card. They call them different things for different cruise lines, but it's like a hotel key card and it will have your name on it, the actual name of the cruise ship and the sailing date, and some other identifying information. But that is what you will give to get in your room and pay for anything on board.
Something that is not with the main cruise is something called shore excursions. It's when you get off the port and is a way to have fun activities and great memories. If I was you, I'd save up some money, and they are really good. It is a way to bump up your cruise to the next level. So try them out.
As you heard from my son, a great shore excursion can really take your vacation to that next level. Let's define what a shore excursion is and what are some options that you have. First, I'd like to start off by saying, don't feel like you have to do a shore excursion at every port. Do your research, see what ports you want to do shore excursions at, and what ports you may just want to get off and wander around the port. Shore excursions is when your boat gets to a port of call and you have scheduled activities to do at that port. Now, you can do this a couple different ways. One, you can book through your cruise line. The benefit of booking through your cruise line is they're going to get you back to the ship on time without the ship leaving you. That does give you some peace of mind. The only negative is sometimes they're more pricey. Now, let's talk about a third-party vendor. You can utilize a reputable third-party vendor to book shore excursions as well. The only caveat about that is if you happen to be late getting back, the cruise ship can leave without you. The third-party vendors that I like to use and have had great experiences with are Viator and Get Your Guide. Viator, the link below. Just know that if you happen to go on there and that's where you book your shore excursions through, Just know it's no additional cost to you, but I may get commission. Talk cruise safety. Different cruise lines have a different variation of what I'm getting ready to discuss, but typically there's two parts. One is information and the other is show up at a location. Let's talk about the information piece. I've seen this done in several ways. Sometimes you can watch informational safety videos on the app. Another cruise line, we watched a video in our cabin and then we picked up the phone and we dialed a certain extension. But both of those are getting information about cruise safety, such as putting on your life vest, the sound of the horn and what that can mean. The other is you show up at the location that's called your muster station, and you, in essence, check in. You will need sail and sign card that identifies you, what you used to get in your room on the cruise ship. Those both have to be done before you can leave out of port. And you don't want to be one of those guests that they're calling your name over the intercom. One of the saddest times of the cruise is when you're preparing to disembark or thinking about disembarking. So typically either the day of or a day before. A lot of times on the app, there'll be the option of, hey, the cruise line's asking you, what's your plan when you go to disembark? You have two options. One is self-assist, which means I'm keeping my bags with me the entire time and I'm going to walk off the ship with them. Typically, these people, as soon as the ship is cleared, they're able to get off and go. If you don't have very much luggage or you're not dealing with multiple people trying to get off the ship. The other is assisted luggage. And this is what most cruise passengers do. And it's where you let them know ahead of time, yes, I plan on having luggage assist. They will leave tags in your room the night before, and those will be numbered and colored. And you attach those to your bag. You put your bags out in the hallway the night before, and they will come by, pick them up. And then when you get off the cruise ship, they will all be located within a certain area. You'll locate your baggage off of the cruise ship, and then you will exit there with your luggage. So two options. One thing to keep in mind though, always keep on you, don't put that in your check bag. Always keep your passports and things with you because you will need those to disembark and go through customs. Just before you disembark the ship, you want to make sure that everything is correct on your onboard account, because once you're off the ship, it's done. So if there's any charge that you're questioning or you're not sure about, make sure that is taken care of before you exit the ship. But before I end this, I want to share something I'm even more passionate about, and that's the love of Jesus. He came, lived a perfect life, and died on the cross, and rose again, so that we could have a relationship with Him and spend eternity with Him. And the best part is, His love is free. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even have to have it all figured out. It's for you, right where you are. So, wherever life takes you, on a cruise, back home, or anywhere in between, just remember this: you are loved. I challenge you to choose Jesus today and every day.